Hi guys, so today I got something special for you. We first have this video that we're going to do a breakdown of, where our friend to the left went into an open weight division and he's the lighter guy in this match. His opponent is outweighting him by about 30 kilos. So we will do some strategies and talk about what he did good and what he could have done better. But I also got another surprise for you. We have this guy's xmartials that has sent me some nice giveaways. So later on I will explain how you're going to join the contest, but you will be able to win $100, $75 and $50 in their gift shop. So stay tuned. But first, let's jump into the match. We all got this bigger guy at our gym that we want to beat. Or maybe you are the bigger guy and want to know what secrets are we trying to use against you. We saw our friend jumping around in circles against his opponent, and there's a good reason for that. If we check how the bigger guy has placed his leg, it's actually a bit far away from his other leg, so his balance isn't perfect. That's a perfect opportunity for our lighter guy to jump in on that leg. So the reason why he's circling around is actually to create movement on the opponent's legs and jump for an opportunity. As a smaller guy, we don't want to trade power for power, so it's an excellent opportunity to actually make the opponent move. As we can see, our guy is placing his hand behind the opponent's leg. That can be either down on the leg or it can be behind the knee. Both of those options is so-so in my opinion, since if the opponent starts to sprawl, you will lose that grip. We can see another option as shown by George St. Pierre and Lex Friedman. George is placing his hand behind the knee, and as soon as Lex sprawls, it gets loose. Instead he goes elbow deep behind the leg, and that makes it a lot harder to sprawl out. So that's something I think everybody should start using. In this match, the bigger guy also sprawled and then went for the back, but you managed to flip him over and came to the side. The mistake the bigger guy is doing in this situation is he is overcommitting for the back control without having any hooks in at all. You have two options here, and one is going to the side, and the other option is tripoding your legs and placing your head down to the mat. That will create a steep angle so you can shake the opponent off. So that's actually what I was hoping you were going to do, but it also works to roll to the side. You are rolling to the side, and here is a scramble where you have some arm fighting and you're pushing his top knee, and that's good. And here I want you to stay as heavy as possible on his lower leg. Unfortunately, the judge is in his way, but you want to get your hip to the mat as well as your shoulders to the mat. And the reason for that is, if you bring your shoulders to the ground, it's almost impossible for the opponent to choke you out, even though he has his arms in and gripping your neck. But getting there is not the easiest. Usually you want to escape either the bottom part of your body or the top part of your body first, and then the other one will follow. In this case, you have your bottom part of your body free, so I would recommend you to place the far leg down to the ground and then push your hip down to the ground. That will make your shoulders follow as well. Though, one key detail is not to jump your hip out to the side too quickly, cause then the opponent will try to mount you as soon as possible. So what you want to do is stay heavy with your hip on his knee and then start with your bottom arm to push on his top leg. Then you can decide when you want to escape the position and try to get on top. You have some scrambles with the opponent and you don't stick to his knee, so he is sticking like glue to your back, and that's very bad for you. You even end up in one of the worst positions you can end up in grappling. And the reason for this being so bad is your four weapons, your arms and your legs, is pointing away from him. And if you use both your arms to try to push off the ground, he will jump on your neck as soon as possible. Though you are escaping this position very nicely, as we soon will see. So take notes, everybody that gets stuck in this position. You use your arm to frame, and then you manage to turn your hip away. Though this ends up in a very technically detailed position. You want to push his top leg off you, and normally you want to use the bottom arm for doing that. In this case, your opponent is controlling that arm with his hand, so you need to use your top arm to push that leg away. What's making that a bad option in this case is his arm that is collecting your head. As we can see, he's almost already having an arm triangle on you. So what you want to do first in this situation is actually getting your shoulder to the ground so he can't arm triangle you. Then you want to escape the position. But as we will see, he is going for the arm triangle, and that will create some issues for you. He is trying to lock it up, but you are doing a very nice escape here. You are collecting his leg with your right leg. We can see here your foot is picking his leg up, and you are going to move that to the side to get some balance so he doesn't fall off. He actually needs to release some of the pressure on your head. And now when you're moving his leg to the side, you're getting some space between your shoulder and your head, and that makes you escape the position. Now we have a fight for the half guard. Your opponent wants to have his knee over your thigh line, so if you close your legs, he wants his knee to be over your thighs, and you want his knee to be below those, since if you do, you can keep his knee down to the ground at any time, and if you don't, he will try to knee slide you as soon as possible and go for the mount. Though you are doing the right thing by not using just your hand but your forearm to push his knee down to the ground, and that's very good. So even though he's going for your arm and pulling it off, since you're using the forearm, it will still be in front of his knee. If you were just using your hand, it would be pulled off in any time, and then he would slide to mount. As we can see, you managed to push him back into half guard, and here you're fighting for position. You're getting your legs on the inside, and getting inside position with your legs is very nice, but you got an even stronger weapon here. As we can see, you have your hand behind his tricep, and what I would like you to do is actually to arm drag his arm to the side. That creates a lot of issues for him, because if he leans his head on this direction over your midsection, you will be able to sweep him like nothing, and if you don't, you will be able to move to his back in a very easy manner, or you can go for arm bars and triangles. So the arm drag is a very nice setup, even though they are bigger and stronger than you, if you manage to get a hold on their arm and moving it past your midsection. There is some hand fighting going on, and he is trying to get your legs to the side and passing you to a dominant position. You manage to collect his leg, and that's very good. Here you have a very nice setup for a leg lock entry. Since you have control over his bottom leg and you have control over his top leg, what you can do is lift him with his leg up, then move your feet and knee over to this side and start attacking his leg. What instead happens is he is getting back to a neutral position and continue to attack your side, though you are doing a very nice job by keeping both his head away as well as his hip away with your other arm. If he manages to collect your head with his top arm, he will most likely get to side control, and that's very bad against a bigger opponent. The match is still 0-0 and he is up by 2 advantage points. If he gets 2 points as well, that will be very troublesome for the smaller guy. He continues to try to pass your legs, and you're making it very difficult for him. And you're actually getting inside position one more time, and here we can see you are catching his leg again, as well as having both your legs in the inside position. So you are threatening to sweep him. If he loses grip of your arm, you can collect his other leg with your hand, and that's the easiest sweep in the book that almost everyone has learned. You collect both his legs and then you push your shins forward, and they will fall back like a baby. And he knows that, so he goes into the defensive position, but you collapse on that and makes a very good control position. Here you have your arms wrapped around his arm and head, and what I would like to see you do here is actually getting your hip down to the side and then raise your far leg up. And the reason for doing that is since he can't bait with this arm, as soon as you're trying to lift the other side, he's going to fall over and he has got nothing to rebalance with. So you're going to sweep him very easily. The other option you got in this position is actually to remove his head from your arm and head control. So you want to go for the straight arm lock. And the reason why you can get that in this position is his elbow is on top of your shoulder. To actually get that submission, you want to move your arm in this direction so his arm gets straightened out. And then you clamp down both your arms and pressure down on his elbow. Though he manages to bring his arm to the inside again, and you continue to fight for passing, and we can see here you ending up in another good position. As soon as you see him putting his arm on your bicep, you're again going for the arm drag, and that's the right thing to do. You're using 2-on-1 behind his tricep and on his arm, so you want to pull him to this side and either go for the back or attacking his balance if he's moving his top body in this direction. He's doing that, but you're fortunately not managing to flip him over this time. But it's a very good effort to actually go for the arm drag as soon as possible. Your team is screaming for you to wrestle up, and unfortunately you are ending up in total position versus a stronger guy. He's again overcommitting his upper body to yours. He should stay away from your top body and try to ride your hip until he can get his hooks in. You have the same options here to tripod or move him to the side as you had previously, but also his elbow is a little bit too far down. So in this case you can sometimes move your elbow up a bit, collect his elbow and then move him to the side and he will fall off you. You are having a scramble again. The issue is with this position, both your legs is collected by his. So you want to do two things at the same time. One is to get your left leg down to the ground so you got some balance by yourself. The other one, you are doing the right thing by pushing his top knee away from you. That will make it a lot easier for you to escape the position. But again we can see the trouble. You're basing on your elbow and that's behind his head with his arm around you. This is again the same territory as before, when he can get you in arm triangles. So what I would like you to do is actually base off your hand instead of your elbow. That would make it a lot harder for him to reach your head and doing the arm triangle on you. This is small details, but it makes a lot of difference in the long run. And things is going to get even worse. He's getting the arm triangle and he's getting the lockdown on your leg. And the reason why that is such a bad position to end up with is for you to escape your hip and leg. You usually want to swing this hip down so you can do the same with your leg. By windshield wiping that down, your foot will be unhooked from his and you will be able to place your foot to the ground and push your knee up. I'm a lockdown player myself, so I really hate when people push their hip on me and then windshield wipe their foot out to escape the position. The issue though is, to submit you with this arm triangle, he wants to push your shoulder into your throat. Since he's using one arm to block one of your arteries, the other one is blocked by your shoulder. And if you turn out to this side, you will actually help him to push that shoulder even further into your throat. So to escape the submission, you want to turn the other way around. So you are having a double trouble situation here. You want to turn one side to escape the submission and another side to actually escape the lockdown. That's why I think this is a very bad spot to be caught in. But again, we will see how you solve this. After some time being stuck in this situation, you are grabbing his hand and pulling it away from you, exactly as you do in a rear naked choke position. The reason why I think your opponent failed in that situation is he should never allow you to collect his fingers. What he wanted to do instead is closing his hand as a fist. That makes it impossible for you to get into the fingers and getting away from that situation. And now the match is actually turning into its final stages. You have passed the opponent's legs and the match is still 0-0 and he have 4 advantage points over you. So if you manage to stay here for 3 seconds and keeping his side control on him, you will win the match. So what I would recommend you to do is actually keeping the control over his elbows and just stay in the position. Get your hip close to him and frame with your head on the ground. Unfortunately, that's not quite what you are doing. You are going to north-south as we will see, and that allows him to total up. The reason why that's so bad is, if you're passing the opponent and they manage to total up, you will not get 2 points for actually passing their guard. So that's a point hack for everybody that competes. As soon as the opponent manages to pass you, you should total up so they don't get their 2 points. As I mentioned before, xmartials is actually doing giveaways for this video and I'm really thankful for that. So what you want to do to actually be in that race is being a visible subscriber. To be a visible subscriber, you want to verify your YouTube status and you want to comment below with the exclamation mark xmartial. So I will put a link in the descriptions below how to verify that and exactly what you're going to comment, so go check that out. xmartials is also sponsoring some of the biggest content creators for Jiu-Jitsu, and if you would like to wear some really nice gear, go check their shop out today. And with just seconds left in this match, you're having your opponent back, but to gain your points, you want to get your hooks in, and that's not as easy as it sounds. He is blocking your hip with his elbows, and to get those removed, I would actually do what your opponent did to you, overcommitting to the top body to go for the choke. If he's trying to defend that, he needs to raise his arm a little bit, and that often opens up so you can put your hooks in, but your opponent manages to roll to the side and the match unfortunately ends there. I think you did a very good job of taking on this bigger opponent. It was a very close match, but unfortunately you didn't win in the end. Though good job for competing, and thank you for sending me this video. If you like content like this, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.